a booth runner, independent beauty professional? Like, what part are you in and where are you at in the business? And as we're waiting for everybody to come in, grab a notebook. This is going to be a packed first day of our event, right? So like, it's really just to really come in here and help you guys create exactly everything that you want in your business so that you can fill your chairs, stop having empty books, stop having slots open, and create truly the financial freedom that it is that you wanted when you first got into this business. So let's create exactly what it is that we can in our business, because that's the one thing that I love is that we get to create all that we want. We get to create the freedom that we want. We get to create all that it is that we dreamed of, even when we were a little girl growing up, having a dream inside of us of what it was when we thought it was going to be like when we got into the beauty industry. So let me introduce myself in case we're new to each other. I'm Karen Hardy. I have been in this amazing industry for over 30 years, hairdresser for 30 years, and I absolutely love what I do. And I've been a hairdresser for 30 years, a salon, 35 years, a salon owner, 30 of those years. I also have a salon suite business building, and I also get the opportunity every month to really speak into other salon owners, suite owners, and beauty professionals to take their business where they're at to where they want it to go. So the facts are, like, we all got into this industry. We went to school for it, but we went to school to learn our craft. We didn't go to school to learn business. And the facts are that, like, we opened up our business, like I did 30 years ago, because I was really good at doing hair. I had a gift for doing hair. I always wanted to open up my own business. And so I did that. But the facts were that I knew nothing, literally nothing about business. All I knew was that God gave me an amazing talent to do hair. And as you and I both know, like, that wasn't going to get me to the success that I wanted. But I had no business background. I knew nothing about it. It was my first in my family to actually open up my own business, first in my family to be a millionaire, right? So like, I came from not knowing anything and created the success that I do. Like, I'm a top 200 fastest growing salon in North America, been that for several years. And even with all the awards and allocates of creating success, doesn't really, like, those things aren't always going to happen just by chance, right? It's not going to happen without knowing how to run our business and create the systems that we need in it so that we can run a business without sacrificing time with our family and creating the lives that we've always dreamed of. I am truly passionate about creating success, helping come alongside you to create the success that you want, but without sacrificing working 80 hours behind the chair and everything else that goes along with it. That was my story. I had my business about 10 years, had a really hard time getting pregnant, and then God blessed me with our first daughter. And I can remember like it was yesterday, my husband called me on the phone, so excited because she took her first steps. And so even though I was excited that he was there, I was crushed because what was I doing? I was behind the chair, doing hair like I did. And as much as I was happy for him, my spirit was totally crushed because once again, I was missing something that was so important to me. I was missing something that literally I prayed about for years. And it was that moment that once I closed the salon that evening, like, I remember, like, I was just sitting on the salon floor crying because I knew there had to be a better way. I knew that God didn't bless me with this amazing business and these amazing children, well, child at the time, children now, to miss out on life, to miss out on those first steps, to miss out on the first words, to miss out on special moments. Like, I knew that I wasn't supposed to be missing out. But I also knew at the same time that I was meant to be a salon owner. And I knew I wasn't an at-home mom. Like, I knew that I was creating something special for my family, and that's something that I wanted to do. But I had to figure out how to do both. And it was that moment I said, okay, God, like, I know that this is not what your plans are, and there has to be a better way. And it was that night that I totally decided, okay, we got to make a shift. Like, something has to happen. And I knew that it was me that had to make these decisions for it to happen in order to create the success that I want. Does anybody else kind of like know that? Like, like, okay, like, no one's coming in to save me from this. No one's coming in to give me this binder, this notebook, whatever, that's going to give me the exact steps that I need to take in order to create the success that I wanted. Like, it wasn't coming in, somebody wasn't coming in and creating for me. I knew it was up to me. And at that moment, I was like, okay, like, things have to change. That's when I hired my first business coach. And literally, my friends, I cannot tell you how that shifted so much, because I had at that moment been walking by myself trying to create something I had no idea how to create. And I was just winging it. Was I having success? Absolutely. Totally blessed, was already creating amazing success, but what cost? Working out 80 hours behind the chair. And that was not including the business hours that I had to do. Right. And so, like, I was creating it, but I was also missing out on life. And so I knew that had to change, and that's what happened. But hired my first business coach, came alongside me. We created the systems and the steps that I needed to create the success that I wanted with my business with ease, without being so overwhelmed, wondering what the heck, how am I ever going to create this? And that's what we did. And so 30 years later, you know, the systems that I've created, the strategies that I've created in the business is what created the success with ease that is still creating success 3 decades later. So I know it works, and I know what it takes in order to create the success. But does business look totally different than it did 30 years ago? Absolutely. Right? But how can we take and create the success that we want now? The biggest challenge that I hear from most salon owners and beauty professionals is that, one, even if they were busy before, they are seeing more cancellations in their day, more gaps, more no-shows than they ever had before. Or they have a team and they're looking at their team chairs and seeing empty chairs, empty books, empty schedules, and knowing that they're doing the same thing they always have done, but something has changed. They're not getting the same results that they always have prior to. And so there's a reason why, my friends. It's because the consumers have changed. There is multiple shifts in the world, right? And so it definitely comes to change in our businesses. So we have to create what it is that we want and look at things in a broad way so that we can create the success that we want long term. Not just a flash in the night, not just a one chance wonder, right? But like really truly come in, take a step back, look at what's going on in our business, look at what we want to create, and then implement systems so that we can create it without burnout, without being overwhelmed, without sacrificing time with our family, and also creating it with a profitable business. More than anything, out of all of those things, what will take and make you close your salon doors is not having a profitable business, not having cash flow, not having systems in place so that if something happens, you're going to be okay. And I don't know about you, but 5 years ago, when COVID hit, I don't think any of us were planned for that. Any of us really would ever have been prepared. And I can remember those days and them saying that they are going to shut our doors. And I was like, dude, like, I own my business, I own my building. No one can tell me what I can and cannot do in my business. And oh, was I wrong? And I'm sure many of you felt the same way. Comment below if you were prepared for when all of our doors shut, and some of us for longer moments or not. So comment below, let me know that. I want your guys' feedback. I want us to be in this together and really take and share with one another. That's the great thing about having these events is that we get to learn not just from me, but from you guys too, right? Like we are all in this together. We are all creating the success that we want. And we all have different areas in our business that we are creating the success. So back to COVID. Like, so we had to shut our doors. We were closed for about 2 months. And the biggest thing was that over and over again in all the communities that I'm in with salon owners and independent beauty professionals is that, oh my gosh, if we don't open up our doors, I'm going to have to close my business. Was that you? I was thankful that I did always have this little nest egg. And I think it was because, like I knew if something happened, I had to keep my business going. I kind of run my household like that too. Like I know that if something happens, like we have this nest egg that I can always dip into to make sure that I can keep things moving the way they need to. Because I have other people that are relying on me, and my family, I have my team. And so like for me, I had to have that safety. That was something that was incredibly important to me. And so we were fine. It was not bad. It was actually like a little vacation off, stressful, but a little vacation off, right? But I also know that's not everybody's story. And so many, first of all, couldn't even get the PPE because they were independent. Even if they were booth runners, they couldn't get it because the salon owner that they were with, they had them set up as booth runners, or maybe they were 1099s. We're not going to go into all of that because I have my own opinion on that kind of stuff. But what I do know is that so many individuals were not able to take part of what the government was assisting with. And so there was many that had to shut their doors. I mean, I know that you guys know as well that we all had people that we knew had to shut their doors and they were never able to open again. And then it also launched a whole nother area of individuals that were ready to move on, but just didn't know how to do it at that moment. And it gave them an opportunity to. So the whole thing here is that I want us just to kind of like think back to those days of when we weren't prepared because we didn't have things in place, and think about that. And all of what happened during that time was that the consumers, all of us, people that live in the world, in the United States, were given money during those times. We were families, we were given a certain amount of money and all this stuff. So we had this flood of money coming into our ecosystem. So people were spending and just enjoying life, doing renovations on their houses, doing all the things that people were doing. But that's not in place anymore. So things have shifted. We know interest rates have gone up. We know people are now looking at things, knowing things are maybe still a little unstable, which they are, but knowing that where they want to invest their money, they want to find the value in it. And so if you are still running your business banked on that you are great at doing whatever services you do, my friend, that is not what is going to sustain you for years to come. That's not what's going to sustain you throughout 2025. So you have to make a shift, and you have to see what it is, where the gap at is in your business, and change it. You got to fill the holes so that you can create success, longevity. So for the next 3 days, we are going to totally go into the 3 steps that are truly will set you up for success, that will keep you in business long term, that will keep you profitable, off the hamster roller coaster of I need to get more clients in, I need to get more clients in, I need to get more clients in, and feeling like there's always empty gaps and holes. And then we're going to, so that's our marketing funnel of how we're creating and getting in front of the guests that we want to serve. Our second step is our retention. How are we going to keep the guests that we get? So often I get so many new customers in, but I'm not seeing repeats. Like I'm seeing the same amount of flow, but they're not coming back. That's because there's a gap. There's something missing in your customer guest experience. This is the whole thing. There are 2 things that you have to have in place in your business in order to create success. And that's not only in the beauty industry, that's in all businesses. First, you have to have a way to get in front of the ideal guest that you want to serve. Whatever it is, whether it's services, products, whatever kind of businesses that you have to have a way to get in front of them to attract the people that you want to come into your business and spend their money. The second way is you have to have a guest experience that is extraordinary, that it's going to exceed their expectations so that they come back all the time. This is Heather. So I've lost so many bread and butter clients in just the last month. It's wild. I'm freaking out. Heather, you are not the only one. Like what exactly you just wrote, I have heard time and time again. And it is scary, 100% scary, but there is an answer to it. And we do have a solution. And that is why I created this event, because I knew that this was going on. And I knew there was a shift coming because you could see it. You could hear it in all the different communities I'm in. And I'm like, my gosh, like we're off track of what it is that we need to be doing in our businesses so that we keep the people that we have and still grow at the same time. So often what has happened is, I can only say this with love, like, and just be honest with you guys. We got into this bubble of, not you directly, I'm just saying our industry has gotten into this bubble of thinking we can kind of treat people the way we want to, take and charge whatever we want to, take and be the way that, whatever the way that we want to run our business. And they're just going to have to deal with it because, like, I'm good at what I do. And yes, being good at what you were doing is so important. But my friends, like, it's not the only thing. The thing is that people buy on emotions. People buy and continue to buy in a place that they have value in, that they feel seen, that they know where they're going, is that they are going to be treated the way that they want to. They're going to get the service that they want to. And that's where they're staying. So looking at all of that, and Heather, this may not be what you're taking and seeing or why your people have left, right? So there's many reasons why. And so looking at your guest experience, and let me ask you one question. So are you a salon owner or are you a booth renter in a suite? Kind of like share with me. In this way, you're a suite owner. Okay. So it's just you making all the bread and butter, and you're the one that has to make sure that you're doing all the things that you have to do. And that is so stressful. Okay. So, okay, I'm just going to say this, like, right? So as women, as men, whatever, like everybody is, what they create, what they want is important to them. Our guests will say those things to us. And maybe some of them, that's really the facts. They really honestly cannot afford it, right? But I don't know about you, but I definitely know about me and most women. We're just going to speak and say this, is that we will find a way to be able to still get our hair done, get our nails done, get our lashes done, get our Botox, get our fillers, right? We will still find a way. And so the people that you've lost, maybe they're not your people, right? Because if they're not finding the value in what you do and the services that you're giving, they may not be your people because they may be a budget person. And that is okay too. Sometimes these shifts gives us an opportunity to take a step back and really create what we want. And that's what I'm inviting you into today. Like to take a step back, look at what it is that I want, and how can I leverage this now and create exactly what I want, create sustainability and create longevity in my business so that if this ever happens again, I'm not going to be freaking out because I have the systems in place. I know what I'm doing in my business. I know what I've created. And even though some people may leave me, it creates an open door for the guests that I want to serve to come in and sit in my chair in my treatment room and give them the extraordinary guest experience with a service that is top notch, world class, that will continue staying with me and tell all of their friends. Like, that's the best part about it. You will no longer have to take and advertise. Your guest will be your advertisement. They will be the ones that will grow you because they know how hard it is to find somebody that's really good at what they do and give a guest experience that they've never had before. And that's what the difference is. That's what you get to create with your business. And so, exactly, like you just spent money on it, right? Like, we're going to find a way to create what we want. We're going to find a way to get the things that make us feel good. That's the difference. Because we can go anywhere, right? And get color and haircuts and nails done and skincare and Botox, and you can go different places, right? But you're choosing, unless you're a budget shopper, and that's always what you do is like look for budgets and look for the discounts, right? You're going to go to a place that gives you the experience that you're like, oh my gosh, I never want to leave here. Actually, I want to bring 10 of my friends with me and just have a day to ourselves. Like yesterday was Mother's Day, right? And so often what happens is that we don't even get to enjoy Mother's Day, right? Because we're always taken and being pulled in different directions, right? And so that's why it's so important. Like, we are so pulled in other areas and how we can create the things that we want. So grab a piece of paper and grab a pen, and we are going to get into day one of what it looks like to truly fill your books and get the financial freedom that you want. And the 3 steps that I have that I'm going to be teaching you in the next 3 days, we're going to be here about an hour each day. And so it will be packed full for that hour, but I know that's like lunchtime or before we're going into work, wherever your guys are located. So we get to take and step into it during lunchtime or whatever. If you want to be able to be a part of the VIP experience where you can take and get all the recordings, you can get a business coaching call with me where I will help you strategize something in your business so that you can move forward in it with success, along with some other things that you guys saw in the VIP experience. So if you guys want to do that, it would be a great time. You guys can take and jump into that and be able to have all the recordings and keep going back to it. There's a great workbook that's in it that gives you the steps by steps how to create exactly what it is that we're going to go over. So for right now, grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, and we're going to truly get into creating exactly what it is. Like, create your vision and the client attract and marketing funnel that you want, this is how you're going to grow your business. So take a step back, think about, what is it that's so important to me? You know, like, why is it that I got into this business? What is it that I've always wanted to create? And how have I done it so far? And maybe where have I not done it? And what can I do differently, right? And I'm going to walk you through this. So there's 3 parts. There's actually 5 parts to building this today. Your first part is we are going to define your core values. And what are core values? It's literally like, this is like the foundation of your business. Why you created it, what you want to create in it, and what you want your outcome to be. So if you got in it to work 80 hours a week, then that's part of your values, right? But if you got in it to create more flexibility, freedom, money, and just get to be able to do the things that you love to do as an independent beauty professional, then write those things down that are important to you. Like, is the time, flexible schedule important to you? Is there a certain guest that you know that you want to serve? And what does your life outside even look like? And how can you create this, right? So write that down. Define your core values. List 3 values that matter the most in your life and your business. It could be your freedom. It could be connecting. Like, how are you connecting with people outside of your business or connecting with people in your business? And how are you doing it with excellence? What is the expectations of it? Like, what is it that these values that you're putting in place are the things that no matter what, they have to be in place. Like, I'm not going to negotiate on these things. These are my true dies. Like, I have to have this in place. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing and the reason why I'm doing it. And then the next part, we'll go to our business snapshot. And what that kind of looks like, creating that dream business snapshot of what it is we want to create. Anybody have any questions on that first part? If you do, just put them in the comments and I will answer them for you. Okay, so the next part is, how do we create that dream business snapshot of what we want to create, that business plan, right? And so it's really, this is about you right now, like what it is you want to create. And if you're a salon owner, think about that too in 2 parts, because most of us salon owners are still behind a chair, right? And so it's not that we're just behind the chair, but we're behind the chair and we got to run a business. So it's like on 2 parts, right? So how many hours do you want to work behind the chair? Like, be real. Like, if you want to dream big and say, I only want to work 2 days behind the chair, 6 hours a day, because I want to be with my family the other days, and I want to have so many days to work on the business, so many days with my family, and so many days to work in the business. Write that down. This is the time to get really clear on what it is we want to create. And what kind of income do you want to produce behind the chair? This is separate from your business. This is, what do you want to produce behind the chair? Weekly, daily, however you want to break that down, however your mind works, do it that way. And how many clients do you want to serve weekly? Do you want to serve, kind of depends about how you kind of like book your day out, right? So some people do 1 guest at a time, some double book. So however it is that you work, how many guests do you want to see in a day? And then in a week. And then also, what services is it that you only want to be doing? Not to say that you're not going to do other services, but what are the services that, in an ideal, this is what I want to create moving forward. I only want to be an extension specialist. I only want to be a vivid color specialist. I only want to do color or haircuts, like nails, whatever it is. What is it that you want to do when you are behind the chair in your treatment room, at your nail table? What is it that you want to be serving your guest with? And when your guest leaves, how does that make them feel? When they're leaving after your service, how does that make them feel? That's one of the most important things out of all those questions. How are they feeling when they take and leave after having a service with you? I'm sorry, I gotta put some drops in my eyes. My contacts are drying out. Give you guys a second to take and write that down. So I'm gonna kind of like, just kind of like, I'll share a little bit about like when I created this, what that kind of looked like for me. So, I was working 80 hours behind the chair. I knew that wasn't feasible. And I knew that I didn't want to keep working Saturdays, right? So what I actually did was I scaled back my business days every year. So it was a gradual thing that I did, right? To now only working 2 days a week, 6 hours a day. Because I absolutely love what I do. Like, I don't have to be behind the chair, right? But I get to. And I'm sorry, but like when the hair is in the core of who you are, it's hard to walk away from it. But I love that I get to share my journey and experiences with all of you guys and help you create the success that you want faster. Like, you can grow so fast and create success with ease and not have so many hurdles, or it takes so long to get over the hurdles, right? And so that's what I did. And I knew that scaling back would give me more opportunity, first to lead my team better, and then to create moments and memories with my family. And so often what happens, especially as business owners, and even if you're not and you're a suite owner, it's the same thing when I say business owner. Doesn't matter whether you have a team of 20 or 60 or you're a solopreneur, you are still a business owner. Even, even if you're an employee at a salon, you still own this. Like, you get to create what it is that you want. If you want to be a multiple six-figure hairstylist, you get to create that. Your business owner that you work for is not going to create it for you, but you get to come alongside of that individual and partner with them and create the life that you want. But you have to take responsibility for what it is that you're creating or what you're not. It's nobody else's fault except our own, right? So like, maybe you're sitting there right now saying, you know what, Karen, like, I don't have the control to do these things because my boss doesn't have the things in place that I need to be successful. Okay, that can literally be 100% the truth, and I get that. However, can you share some things with them? Remember what I said in the beginning. Even I was just a hairdresser that knew nothing about business, that opened a salon without any clue how to do it. And I had to learn along the way. It was a journey, right? So like, creating that and making it happen. So maybe going to them and share what it looks like that you want to create and how can you do that, right? And so can you take and inspire them, right, to build their business better? Maybe, right? Maybe you can still do these things to create what it is that you want. And if you cannot, then that's absolutely when I invite you to take a step back and look at what it is that you can have control of and make decisions. Because there's no reason why you want to leave. Like, there's no reason why you want to stay where you are when you know that you are created for so much more. Like, you were created to create even so much more. So don't stay somewhere that you can't grow and create the things that you want. Doesn't mean that you have to be a business owner. It just means that you get to find a salon that you can really align with and grow with, right? Like, so not every salon's for everybody. Okay, right? So think about this. So I knew that, and so I wanted to make sure that I scaled back all the time to create the dream schedule that I wanted to. So those are ways that you guys can take and do that. And I knew that when the guests that I wanted to serve, I knew that I wanted to serve guests that could afford me, right? I was definitely known as the most expensive salon in the area, and I was totally 100% fine with that. But I also knew that with that comes with a luxury brand and a luxury experience. And so I knew I needed to create that as well, right? And so creating that, what happens? How do we do that? How do we set ourselves apart from everybody else? We have more opportunities today to do that than ever, right? So social media, internet, our websites, LinkedIn, TikTok, all the things, right? You get to step into all of those, but they're just one tool for you to use. They're just one tool to get in front of the ideal guest that you want to serve, but there are multiple tools that you can use in order to grow your business fast. Social media, you're waiting for them to see you. So you're waiting them to see you and then come to you. These other things I'm going to share how to take and really truly get in front of your ideal guest are the opportunities that you get to step in front of your ideal guest. You get to step in and create them to see you and then come see you, right? There's a different way that we need to market. There's a different way that we need to show up in our businesses and in our communities. Whether you're a salon owner, suite owner, independent beauty professional, employee, like we all get to show up and create what we want. So I would love to hear like how you guys are marketing your business like today. So are we doing like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, TikToks, like Google ads? Like share with me how you've been taking and marketing your business. This way I can see what you guys have been doing and then take and really look at sharing the ways that will like even up level what you're doing maybe. Google ads. So how have your results been with the Google ads? Have you been like getting good results, Heather? I'm saying like you said one. Yes, that can be challenging. Yeah, sometimes unless you have a really good marketing individual that does like setting up your platforms for your marketing to really get you in front of the ideal guests that you want to serve, it can be challenging and expensive, right? Because not everybody, they'll go in on like a Google ad or a Facebook ad or Instagram ad, and they will click like your location, right? But not really click all the other things that they can do to really target the guests that you want to serve. And that makes a huge difference because you can literally go in and attract, like click on the amount of income a family makes, where they live, what type of work they do. Like there's so much you can go in and like really niche it down. So it makes your community smaller of the influence and of the leads you can get, right? But they're buyable leads though. That's the difference. They're your ideal clients. So you can choose to go wide and broad, right? But what that does is then gives you a large audience to pull from, but that probably aren't your ideal guest. Like if you're an extension specialist, like, and they're just going broad, right? With the people just in your area, 10-mile radius, 20-mile, whatever it is, right? Like that's going to everybody. It's not. So you did like target each individual thing, or you went more broad? Which one did you do? More broad is what you did? You targeted and you still got those results. So maybe look at it, right? And you can even do a consultation with Google and have them even share more. Maybe you have done that. The ads are tricky. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not one of my biggest things that I'm a fan of unless you have somebody that can really help. I'm not tech savvy, right? I just know about them because I've researched, because I want to make sure that I'm getting the ROI on my dollars that I'm spending as well, right? And so knowing how to target them in the different ways. You got appointments today. See, that's awesome. Like, so if it cost you, let's just like put this in retrospect. If it cost you $200 to run the ad, right? And you got an appointment, right? And on that guest appointment, you're charging them $250. So then you profit $50 from it, right? Really not, because of the products you have to use and all that things, right? So you have to look at it in the respect when you're doing this, like, and that's why, like, hiring somebody that understands all these things, because I did not in the beginning either, but like, you want to know that, like, what the cost is per guest, right? Like, booking an appointment coming in and what that looks like, not per click, but like what it looks like to book an appointment and they come in, right? So like, you want to know what those conversions are. You want to know that even the person doing it, if you hire somebody, like, they have worked with the beauty industry, a service industry, and what kind of results they have gotten, right? Because it's so important. If not, like, we're just wasting our money and flushing it down the sink. But let me share with you some different ways that you guys can really target your ideal guests, right? And get in front of them and create the results you want, right? So like, partnering with other local businesses. That is a phenomenal way to get in front of your ideal guest. So just say you're like in a little city, town, whatever, there's a boutique that you know, like, the guests that you want to serve go there, right? Or you're a salon and there's a plastic surgeon down the street or a med spa down the street, and they have the guests that you want to serve. How can you partner with them? What is it that you can do to partner with those companies and create success for them and you? But you got to go in serving them as well. It's not about like, let me come in and get all your guests and be gone, right? It's like creating a way, creating an opportunity that you get to go in and share this opportunity with the business owner, and how you guys can partner together for each other and what that looks like. How can you promote one another? What does that look like? Can you take and promote them to your list about a special they're doing? Can they do that with theirs? Because this is the thing, that would be a referral, right? So like, when a business is telling their customers about you, and their customer, they love their customers, right? That customer is taking their word, knowing that they're going to go to this place and they're going to be treated in the same caliber that they are there, with the same excellence. They're going to have the same experience because they're sharing their audience with you. So I don't know if anybody has ever done that, like partnered with another business, local business in the area. If you have, put down below that you have. And if you did, what kind of business, right? Like, because that's really cool too, like to find out what kind. So like, you can partner with other businesses in our industry. You can partner with a boutique. Maybe there's a high-end boutique that really truly has your ideal guest. They're young, they're your generation that you target and that you work with. Then that would be a company that you definitely want to take and partner with. And so like, being able to create those things, being able to partner even with communities. So meaning like, communities that people live in. There's always groups inside these communities. So there's women's groups, there's maybe like book groups, whatever, right? But how can you get in front of those groups if they're your ideal guest, right? And be able to share your services. So like, maybe you're a skincare therapist, right? And you specialize in aging skin, we'll just say, right? And there's a community that's near you that definitely, that target community is older, maybe 40 and above, right? And so then this way you can target and walk into that community, being able to share opportunities and how can you get in front of them and be able to give a presentation of what it is that you do and share that. So it gives you the opportunity to get in front of your ideal guests, share what it is that you want to be able to partner with, get them as your ideal guest. So partnering with local communities, partnering with local businesses is a great way. Partnering even with your news stations, right? How can you get on the air and share about what it is that you do? Partnering also with charitable communities, like what charities can you partner with? If you're a salon owner, like what charities does your whole team get around and loves? Like maybe you guys are pet lovers and you want to partner with a rescue organization. Maybe domestic abuse is what you guys go to and you partner with an organization for domestic abuse, maybe for children, whatever it is. VFWs, the Elks, the veterans, like there's just so many different organizations that we can partner with, that we can come alongside and share our passion of what it is that they do with them as well. And then they can also share what it is that we do.